"You're overthinking again," Zayan said, his voice low, like I was a child being told not to cry at her own birthday. "She laughs too much at your jokes," I muttered. "So now I can't be funny?" He smiled, kissed my forehead, and grabbed his keys. "Don't be boring, Aliyah. She's just a friend." That line, I could tattoo it on my skin. That's how often I'd heard it. Just a friend. Like that made everything okay. Like friends leave perfume on my husband's shirt. Like friends call at midnight and hang up when I pick up. I stared at the mirror for 10 minutes after he left. My eyes looked tired, the spark fading like old eyeliner. Maybe I was boring. Maybe this was normal. But later that night, while folding laundry, I saw something that made my breath stop. A small gold earring. Not mine, not Ami's, not anyone I knew. It was on the bed, our bed, on my pillow. My fingers touched it like it might burn me. "Aliyah?" Zayan called from the hallway. I quickly shoved it under a t-shirt. "Yeah?" "What's for dinner?" I was thinking to order something. "Perfect." "I'm tired. Hina made me run around all day," he said with a laugh. "Hina?" "Yeah, she needed help buying a gift for her niece." "You spent the whole day with her?" "Babe, it's not a big deal. She's going through a lot. She needed me. Needed him." While I folded our clothes, cleaned our kitchen, waited. Like a fool. "Okay," I whispered, biting my lip. "You're mad?" "No." "You sound mad." "I'm not." He kissed my cheek and walked away like everything was okay. I didn't eat dinner. I just sat at the edge of the bed, holding that earring in my palm like it was a knife. My head started spinning. I remembered all the times he was late, all the times she texted and he smiled, all the times I asked and he said I was being dramatic. I used to trust him so much. I used to feel safe in his arms. Now I felt like throwing up when he touched me. "Zayan?" I asked as he laid on the couch, watching TV. "Do you love me?" He looked at me like I was crazy. "Of course I do. Why would you ask that?" "No. Reason." "Is this about Hina again?" "No. You're acting weird. You need to stop overthinking." "Seriously, it's annoying now. Annoying. I was annoying for feeling something was wrong in my own marriage." That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed up thinking, replaying every moment. I opened his closet, quietly, slowly, like a thief. His shirt smelled like her perfume. That fake floral scent I hated. I sat on the floor with my knees to my chest and that little gold earring in my hand. I didn't cry. Not yet. I wanted to scream. But silence was louder. And I knew. Deep down, this was just the beginning. I didn't say anything about the earring. Not that night. Not the next day. I just watched. Every time Zayan smiled at his phone, my stomach turned. Every time he left the room to answer a call, my chest tightened. But I needed proof. Real proof. So I waited. "You've been quiet lately," Mina said, stirring her tea as we sat on the cafe patio. "Just tired," I said. "No, not buying it. What's going on?" I hesitated. "Do you remember Hina?" She frowned. "Zayan's friend?" "Yeah, I found her earring in my bed." "What?" Mina nearly spilled her tea. I didn't ask him. I wanted to be sure first. "Aliyah, you can't just sit on this." "I'm not sitting. I'm watching." Mina didn't agree, but she knew me well enough not to push. Zayan had fooled everyone with his perfect smile, but not me. Not anymore. That night, he fell asleep with his phone in his hand. I held my breath as I gently took it. The screen was locked, of course, but I knew his passcode, our anniversary. He never changed it. Too lazy, too confident. I opened WhatsApp. No Hina. But there was a contact named Faizan. We didn't even know a Faizan. I clicked, and my heart dropped. Hina. Miss me? Zion. Just got home. She's sleeping. Hina. Wish I was there instead of her. Zion. Soon, promise. Though. Air left my lungs. I scrolled. There were photos, selfies, her in his car, him in her mirror. He was wearing the same shirt he wore last Sunday. The day he said he was at his mom's, I put the phone down like it burned. He stirred in his sleep. You okay? Yeah, I said quickly, turning away. Come here, he mumbled, pulling me into his arms. And I let him. I laid there, in his arms, while my heart shattered into glass. I wasn't ready to explode. Not yet. I wanted him to dig his grave deeper. You love me, right? I whispered. Of course. Only me? He laughed. Always only you. Why are you being so weird? Just making sure? I smiled into his chest, but I felt sick. His words were lies, soft and sweet like poison, and I was done drinking them. The next morning, I opened my laptop and started taking screenshots. Every message, every photo, every proof. I saved it in a folder named Invoices, just in case. I wasn't crazy. I was careful. You're up early, he said, walking into the room. Had some schoolwork to catch up on. You okay? I'm fine. He leaned down and kissed my forehead. I'll be late tonight. Hina's got some issues at her office. Need to help her with presentations. Of course, I replied. He smiled. He really thought I was that stupid. When he left, I stared at the door for a long time. My hands were shaking, but my mind was clear. This wasn't love. This was betrayal, served warm every night, and I was finally tasting it. I smiled at him the next morning, made his coffee, kissed his cheek, waved goodbye like a perfect wife. And I hated every second of it, because now I knew. I knew everything, but I wasn't going to scream. Not yet. I wanted to see how far he'd go with the lies. I wanted to watch him dig his own hole. You're in a good mood today, Zion said, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, just feeling light, I replied, setting his plate down. That's good. You were acting weird last week. I know. Hormones. Maybe, I said with a laugh. He chuckled. No guilt, no shame. He thought I was over it. Hina called me last night, he added casually. Oh? Yeah. She's going through a rough patch. I told her we'd have dinner this Friday. You should come too. Dinner? He was still pretending, still playing this dirty little game. Sure, I smiled. Sounds lovely. He blinked, surprised, maybe confused, but he didn't question it. He left like everything was fine, and I sat down on the sofa like everything was burning. Later that day, Mina came over. I didn't say much, just handed her tea and stared out the window. Okay, talk, she said. Nothing to talk about. Liar, I turned to her. He invited me to dinner, with her. She froze. Are you serious? Dead serious. Why are you still playing along? Because he thinks I'm blind, and I want to see how far he'll go. And what if it breaks you first? Then I'll break. But at least I'll know I didn't walk away without watching him fall. Mina didn't know what to say. She just hugged me tight. I didn't cry. I didn't even blink. My pain had turned into ice. That night he came home late again, showered, whistled, slid into bed like nothing was wrong. You smell nice, I said, staring at the ceiling. Thanks. New cologne. Hina got it for me. She's thoughtful. Yeah, she really is. Sweet girl. Just needs good people around her. Like you? He grinned. Exactly. I laughed softly, and inside something cracked. In the following days, I played my role, smiled, cooked, kissed him goodbye, watched him lie through his teeth. Hina's stuck in traffic, I'll be late again. Of course, be safe. Each time I saved his messages, each call log, Each receipt I found in his jeans. I was building a case, not for court, but for closure. The day of the dinner came. I wore my best dress, curled my hair, painted my lips red, the color he used to say he loved. He looked at me like he didn't know me. Wow. You look like someone who deserves the truth? I cut in, sweetly. He blinked. What? Nothing. Let's go. At the restaurant, Hina greeted me with a fake smile. Aliyah, you look gorgeous. Thanks. Your perfume's familiar, I said. She laughed nervously. It's Chanel. I knew. I smelled it on Zion's collar last week. We sat, talked fake, smiled fake, laughed fake. But under the table, I held my phone, the screenshots open. His words, her photos, his betrayal, pixel by pixel. You two are really lucky, the waiter said as he served dessert. Such a beautiful couple. I looked at Zion, then at Hina, then smiled. You have no idea. By the time we left, my decision was made. This game was ending soon, not with tears, with silence, and a storm that neither of them saw coming. Faisal was always the talkative one. Every time he visited, I made tea and sat through hours of his useless stories. But today, his words cut deeper than any knife. Zion invited him over on a lazy Sunday. I smiled, nodded, served snacks like a good hostess. But inside, I was already bleeding. Man, that trip was wild, Faisal laughed. You two always come back looking like you've had the time of your lives. Trip? I asked, pouring tea. Yeah, the Islamabad weekend. You guys went in Zion's black car, right? I froze. Zion's hand tightened around his cup. That wasn't me, I said quietly. Faisal blinked. Wait, what? I didn't go on any trip. But Hina posted a photo. I just assumed. You assumed wrong, I said, setting the teapot down a little too hard. The silence was loud. Zion cleared his throat. It was a business trip. Hina needed help with logistics. I told you, remember? No. You said you were in Lahore with your clients. His mouth opened, then closed. Faisal stood up, uncomfortable. I should go. Didn't mean to. I thought she knew. She does now, I whispered. I didn't say anything else. I just walked into the kitchen and sat down. The room spun. My ears rang. I felt heat crawl up my neck like fire ants. Zion followed me. Aliyah, listen, I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything. Is that supposed to make it better? It was harmless. She needed help. That's it. So you lied to protect her? No, I lied to keep things peaceful. Peaceful for who? I snapped. You went out of town with another woman and didn't even have the decency to come up with the same lie twice. He rubbed his face like he was the victim here. You're blowing this out of proportion. Or is it just harder for you now that your friend spilled your truth? Faisal's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. No, he knows enough. And now, so do I. I walked past him, went straight to our bedroom, locked the door, and cried. I cried like I was holding the pain of 5 years in one night. My chest hurt. My lips trembled. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I didn't scream. Didn't break anything. I just curled into the corner, gripping my knees like they could hold me together. The worst part wasn't the cheating. It was the lying. The months I spent defending him to my friends. The moments I told myself I was just insecure. The nights I begged God to make me better, thinking I was the reason he was distant. Aliyah, he knocked. Please open the door. Let's talk. I don't want to hear your voice. I didn't sleep with her. You still slept on me. Silence. Real silence. The kind where even the walls seemed to stop breathing. Later that night, I texted Mina. No words. Just a broken heart emoji. She called immediately. Do I need to come over? No. I just needed to know someone still tells the truth. Aaliyah, I'm here. Whatever you do next, I've got you. I think I'm done pretending. And just like that, I knew. The game was over. Now it was war. I didn't sleep. Not even for a second. I just sat on the bed, staring at the wall, watching the clock hit midnight. He came home at 12:37 a.m. You're still up? He asked, dropping his keys on the table like nothing was wrong. Yeah, I said calmly. Waiting? For what? The truth. He paused. His smile dropped just a little. Aaliyah, I'm tired. Can we talk in the morning? No, we talk now. Sit down. He hesitated, then sat on the couch. I stood in front of him, phone in hand. You know what this is? I asked. Your phone? No, it's a grave. And every message, every picture, in here is a shovel. I opened the screenshots, held them up. His chat with Hina, her selfies. Their conversations about me, about how I was too sensitive, too boring, too obsessed with school stuff. You went through my phone? He asked, trying to flip it. You slept with someone else and you're worried about your privacy? I didn't sleep with her. Then what is this? I shoved the photo in his face. You said you were in Lahore, but here you are. Her mirror, her bed, your smile. She needed comfort. And I needed honesty, I snapped. But I guess she wins. He stood up. You're twisting things. You're not perfect, Aaliyah. You've changed. You're cold. You stopped paying attention to me. You think I stopped paying attention? I laughed, loud and painful. I noticed everything, Zayon. Every late night, every lie, every look you gave her. I watched it all. And you gaslit me into silence. It didn't mean anything. It meant everything to me. He reached for me. Please, let's fix this. Fix? I stepped back. We're past fixing. Don't do this. You already did. The room felt heavy. My hands were shaking, but my voice stayed sharp. Do you know what hurts the most? I whispered. That you thought I wouldn't find out. That you thought I'd keep loving you even after this. He dropped to the couch, head in hands. Silent. Now. No more lies left. I stared at him. This man I had built my world around, now reduced to silence, guilt, and regret. I walked to the drawer and pulled out the small envelope I'd prepared. What's this? He asked. Copies. Of everything. Just in case you try to twist this later. You're not serious. Dead serious. I walked to the door. Where are you going? To breathe? To feel something that isn't betrayal? He didn't stop me. Because he couldn't. Because for the first time, I was stronger than his lies. I left that night. Didn't slam the door. Didn't cry in front of him. Just picked up my keys and drove to Ami's house. She opened the door in her nightrobe, eyes wide. Aaliyah? Beta, what happened? I walked in and sat down like my soul was dripping off me. He cheated Ami. Silence. She didn't ask how. She didn't ask with who. She sat beside me, placed her hand on mine, and said, I was afraid of this. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted to believe he'd grow into a man worth your love. Dropped my head onto her shoulder. I feel so stupid. Don't. He's the fool. You were loyal. You stayed. He broke it. Not you. Samir barged in 10 minutes later, shouting, I swear to God, I'll break his face. Samir, no. I said, please. He played you. I trusted that guy. You let him humiliate you like this? I didn't let him. He chose it. But I choose something else now. Like what? Divorce? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm not going back there tonight. Or tomorrow. Samir's fists clenched. He paced the room like a caged lion. How long? He asked. Months. You knew? I suspected. Then I proved it. Screenshots, photos, lies. Samir sat, down, breathing hard. You want me to do something? No, that's what he'd expect. I want silence to haunt him. Later, Ami made tea. The old way. Ginger, cardamom, a little extra sugar. She placed the cup in front of me. You can stay here as long as you want. But promise me something. What? Don't let this turn you bitter, and don't go back just to save face. What if people talk? Let them. Your peace is louder than their gossip. I took a shower, sat in my childhood room, still painted pale pink. Posters long gone, dreams still hanging in the corners. I pulled out a photo album from the shelf. Our wedding pictures. Zayan smiling, me glowing. The perfect lie frozen in glossy prints. I took out a lighter, flipped the photo. Watched flames kiss the edge until his smile melted to ash. Ami walked in silently. Didn't stop me. Just handed me an old suitcase. Your clothes. I already started packing. I looked up at her. You really think I should leave him? I think you already did. The rest is just logistics. The next morning, Zayan called. I didn't answer. He texted, "Please come home. Let's talk. I love you." I stared at the screen. Love? He threw love away when he laid in her bed. Another message. I'm sorry. Please. I miss you. I deleted it because I missed myself more. And now, I was finding her again. It started with a message request on Instagram. Farah-21. I didn't recognize the name. Her profile was private, no posts, no bio. But the message? It was just one line. You don't know me, but I know Zayan. Can we talk? My chest tightened. I replied, Who are you? His ex. Why now? Because I saw your pictures. I saw the cracks, and I know what those cracks feel like. We met in a small coffee shop. She wore a plain scarf, no makeup. But her eyes, they looked like mine. Tired, hollow, burned. Out. I'm Farah, she said. Zayan and I dated 5 years ago. He never mentioned you. She laughed bitterly. He wouldn't. I know too much. I stayed silent. Let her talk. He cheated on me too. With a friend. Lied for months. Gaslit me until I thought I was insane. Sounds familiar. It broke me. I ended up in therapy. He didn't care. Moved on like I never existed. She handed me an envelope. This is my closure. Maybe it'll help you find yours. Inside were photos, medical reports, prescription lists, her journal entries. He didn't just cheat. He destroyed her. He said I was dramatic, she whispered. Said I was too emotional, too much. Just like he probably told you. Exactly. I couldn't stop staring at her. She was me, just earlier. Why are you warning me? I asked. Because I wish someone had warned me. We sat in silence, sipping cold coffee. I didn't know whether to cry or scream. He'd done this before. And I was just another name on a list. Do you still love him? She asked softly. I don't know. Maybe I loved the version he pretended to be. That's not love. That's survival. Before she left, she said one last thing. You didn't deserve this. None of us did, but he will. You believe in karma? No. But I believe men like Zayan always ruin themselves eventually. That night I didn't cry. For once I didn't blame myself. I sat on the floor with her envelope beside me. I opened my laptop and added a folder. Named it, Truth He'll Never Admit. Inside it, I placed her scans, her story, my screenshots, and one blank document titled, Closure, Not for Him. For me, I messaged Farah at midnight. Thank you. She replied instantly. Don't thank me. Just don't let him break you like he broke me. That night, For the first time in weeks, I slept, not peacefully, but at least without his voice in my head. It was a normal Sunday. I was out with Mina, buying books and eating fries like heartbreak was a story I used to read. We were walking past the mall when Mina suddenly froze. Oh my God. What? Turn around slowly. Don't react. I turned, and there they were. Zion and Hina. But they didn't look happy. They weren't holding hands. They weren't laughing. He looked tired, like someone who hadn't slept in weeks. She looked worse, eyes sunken, makeup smudged, fake smile trembling. I watched them argue through the glass. She said something. He rolled his eyes. She slapped the table. I sipped my drink and smiled. So this is what love looks like when built on lies. Mina grinned. Guess paradise didn't last long. Later that evening, I got a message from an old mutual friend. Hey, I don't mean to gossip, but Zion and Hina, they're a disaster. He's cheating on her now, with someone younger. I didn't even flinch. I just replied, figures. 3 days later, Mina sent me a screenshot from Hina's Instagram, a black screen, white text. Sometimes you give everything to the wrong person. I nearly laughed. My tea almost came out of my nose. Mina called. She posted that like she invented pain. Poetic justice, I said. God, I love karma. Me too, especially when I don't have to lift a finger. Zayn texted again that week, not to ask me back. Just a weak hope you're well. I didn't reply, didn't block him either. Let him see that I saw it. And didn't care. Because silence hurts more when someone once begged for your words. I visited my old apartment a few days later. It was empty now. New tenants, new paint. No sign of the girl who used to wait at that window for love to come home. I stood outside for 5 minutes. Then I left, with nothing in my hands and everything back in my heart. At night, I sat on my bed, opened Farah's envelope one last time, then burned it. The pain, the proof, the past. All of it turned to ash. Mina messaged one last time before bed. Still think about him? I replied, no. But sometimes I think about the girl I used to be. What would you tell her? He was never your home. You were. I didn't meet Gibran at a party. There was no rom-com moment, no spilled coffee, no dramatic music. We met at a stationery shop. He was looking for a specific pen. I was buying a new journal, one with no blood on its pages. Sorry, are these black or blue ink? He asked. Black, I replied without looking up. You sure? I've made enough mistakes with men and pens to tell the difference. He laughed, and somehow it didn't annoy me. We talked for 10 minutes. Then we talked again a week later, and a few days after that. He never flirted, never pushed, never asked why my eyes looked like they'd forgotten how to smile. He just talked and listened, really listened. One evening, we sat on a bench after tea. He looked at me and asked, "Who hurt you?" I didn't freeze, didn't run. I just replied, "Someone who taught me what love shouldn't feel like." He nodded. "Do you want to talk about it?" "No. I want to forget it ever existed." "Then I won't ask again. But I'll be here if you change your mind." That night, I didn't cry. Didn't check my phone. Didn't scroll back through old messages. I just sat with that moment. That quiet moment where I didn't feel scared. Weeks passed. We kept meeting, slow, simple, safe. He never made big promises. Never said things like forever or always. He said, "Let's just be honest with each other. That's enough for now." And it was. One day he asked, "Do you still love him?" I looked at the sky, breathed in. No. I think I loved who I hoped he'd become, not who he really was. Gibran smiled softly. "That's a hard truth." "It almost killed me," I said. "But now, I'm finally breathing again." He never tried to fix me, never told me to move on faster. He just stood beside me while I stitched myself back together. We sat on a rooftop one evening. Lights below us, quiet above us, and I asked, "Why are you so patient with me?" "Because broken doesn't mean unworthy," he said. "You're allowed to heal at your own pace." And in that moment, I didn't fall in love. I fell into peace. Not every story ends with a wedding. Sometimes it ends with finally choosing yourself, and that, Aisha Boss, was the real love story all along.